getting into the debrief now. Donald Trump took the oath of office as the 47th president of the United States earlier today. And in the hours following his second inauguration ceremony, Trump is expected to start implementing his agenda with a slew of executive orders targeting topics like immigration, federal DEI programs, and the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico.
And this is a live look at Washington, D.C., where President Trump is speaking at the presidential parade, which is being held inside because of the extreme cold. He's expected to sign off on many of those executive orders in just a little while. Joining us now to break down today's historic swearing in and executive order signings, Executive Dean and Director of Presidential Studies at Hofstra University, Dr. Meena Bose. Meena, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, glad to be here. Important day.
Yeah, absolutely. Historic. And, you know, aside from it being inside because of the freezing temperatures, what were some of the similarities and differences from what you saw in Trump's first inauguration in 2017?
Well, the 2017 inaugural address, as has been discussed, was kind of very defensive in nature. President Trump had lost the popular vote, though he solidly won the Electoral College vote. It was very unexpected. This second winning after losing re-election in 2020 and becoming only the second president to do that is historic. And the inaugural address was not your traditional inaugural address. It talked about unity, but kind of unity on the president's terms. It was a very policy-oriented speech. We're waiting for these actions. Reports are they'll be coming in the next few hours, probably. But this was very much a kind of almost more of a vindication inaugural address rather than a more defensive one. They were both very critical of the current state of American politics, but I would say this one was more optimistic of what will be accomplished. A lot more confidence, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I hope that he has backup pens ready to go, because it's believed that there's over 200 executive orders that will be signed. Most of them not surprising because he talked about them on the campaign trail, but any of them stick out to you as you were like, I was not expecting that?
Well, I wasn't expecting the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico or Mount McKinley, though I guess those had been discussed. I just hadn't anticipated them, but that kind of makes sense. I mean, the immigration ones were expected, and we'll see that. The environmental ones, in addition to that, of course, I mean, overturning some of the DEI initiatives from the Biden administration, that was expected. Yeah. But there is going to be a lot of action in the coming days and really hours. And so I think we're returning to kind of the roller coaster of American politics that we saw in the first term of the Trump presidency.
Like ending birthright citizenship. That's something, you know, it's enshrined in the 14th Amendment. Of course, they're arguing that. But this is going to get some significant legal pushback. I mean, what are you expecting to see?
Well, that was the one I'm surprised about, because we're waiting to see exactly what this says. It will certainly be subject to legal challenge. I guess it gives some maybe political support for some of the president's core supporters. I actually think in some ways the one that's probably maybe more immediately consequential is the expected mass pardoning of the January 6th rioters and the assault on the Capitol, right? The people who've been convicted, who are awaiting trial. There had been some question as to what was going to happen there, whether there would be individual cases. Even the Attorney General nominee had said that people should be subject to the rule of law. But it appears as though there might be a major change. I think that one is perhaps will be the most surprising if, in fact, it happens tonight.
If anyone sat there and watched this inauguration speech, you saw Trump define what Biden's term was, and basically to wrap it, simply, it was a fail in his words. But what do you think defined Biden's term?
Well, I think it was pretty clear from the president's message that, he recognized, apart from recognizing Biden at the start, it was a critique of the entire administration. I think that the long-term legacy for President Biden will be getting the nation out of the pandemic in 2021, smart investments in the economy to help with the American Rescue Plan, infrastructure, the CHIPS Act were bipartisan pieces of legislation. Inflation Reduction Act and American Rescue were on party lines. Those will probably be more contentious. And there's foreign policy, of course, a lot to discuss. But what will overshadow the Biden legacy will be the determination to run for a second term and really hindering what might have been difficult Democratic prospects in any case for in 2024.
All right, Meena Bose, thank you so much. Appreciate your feedback and expertise on everything.
Thank you. Look forward to discussing again.